a fight for power and control. As Mexico thinks about joining the BRICS group, the question comes up, how far will the United States go to stop Mexico from joining BRICS? This conflict of interests, where economic power, regional dominance, and geopolitical chess moves all come together, is the key to figuring out how the US plans to move in the world. Imagine the world as a huge game where people make moves to gain power and influence. In this high-stakes game, the US is at a key point when it comes to Mexico's possible membership in the BRICS group. Let's go deeper into the interesting world of geopolitical factors that have shaped America's position and deeds, and find out what's going on behind the scenes. At the heart of the problem is how the United States has seen Latin America in the past. The US has thought of this area as its backyard, and a place under its control for hundreds of years. The Monroe Doctrine, which was made nearly 200 years ago to stop European colonial goals, has a lot to do with this idea. As a neighboring country, Mexico is seen as a strategic piece on this chessboard, and the US is eager to keep its control over the region. But the rise of new powers is a threat to American dominance around the world. China and Russia have been growing their power around the world, and Latin America is no exception. The possibility of Mexico joining BRICS would give these countries a base closer to the United States, which worries Washington. To protect its economic, military, and political interests, the US actively discourages Mexico from joining BRICS. It wants to keep rival powers from moving into what it sees as its area of influence. The United States' strategic decisions are also influenced by economic competition. Mexico is important to the United States because it is a trade partner and an industry hub. But joining BRICS could cause trade and investments to go to other countries instead of the US, which could hurt its economy. America tries to stop Mexico from joining BRICS because it doesn't want to lose jobs and slow down economic growth. It also wants to keep its economic dominance in the area. Concerns about security add another layer to this complex global puzzle. The United States and Mexico need to work together to solve problems like the drug trade, organized crime, and immigration that both countries face. The US knows about this dependency and uses it as a way to stop Mexico from joining BRICS by stressing how important it is to keep working together on security, share intelligence, and work together on law enforcement. The US wants to make sure that Mexico's security goals are the same as its own. This alignment is a deterrent because any break in security cooperation could threaten Mexico's stability and the security of the area as a whole. The United States' approach is also shaped by politics and the promotion of democratic ideals. The US has been looking for allies with countries that share its democratic institutions and ideals for a long time. China and Russia, which are both part of the BRICS group, are different from this democratic structure. To keep political alignment within its sphere of control, the US wants to stop Mexico from joining BRICS. This strategic move not only strengthens America's position, but it also lessens the chance that Mexico's ties to non-democratic powers will lead to ideological clashes and political problems. The big global stage is set, and the players are very careful about how they move their pieces. As the US uses diplomatic skills, economic strength, and security unity, the question remains, will the US be able to stop Mexico from joining BRICS with its efforts? The result of this game of power will affect not only Mexico's plans to join an alliance, but also the world's politics as a whole. Stay interested as the story develops and reveals the complex turns and twists that determine the fate of countries. But wait, dear watchers, this story isn't as simple as it seems. As Mexico thinks about its future and weighs the pros and cons of joining BRICS, rumors have started to spread about a possible change in allies. Rumors say that Mexico's political dance with BRICS could be a strategic move to use its position to get the United States to make concessions. Will Mexico surprise everyone by taking a new road that goes against the United States? The United States is in the lead and fighting hard to protect its economic interests against the possibility that Mexico will join the BRICS group. Let's take a closer look at this complex web of economic factors that drives America's efforts to stop Mexico from joining BRICS, revealing the secret reasons and possible outcomes that lie within. The complicated dance of trade deficits is at the heart of America's worries. As one of the US's biggest trade partners, Mexico and the US have had a close economic relationship for a long time. But the possibility of Mexico joining BRICS makes people worry that it could upset the delicate trade balance between the US and Mexico. This could cause trade and investment to move away from the United States, which could hurt American businesses and cause people to lose their jobs. In this situation, America works hard to keep its economic dominance, and it takes strategic steps to stop Mexico from following the BRICS road. But that's not the end of it. The safety of supply lines is becoming an important part of the U.S. economy. Since Mexico is a major manufacturing center for things like cars, airplanes, and electronics, any change in relationships could have big effects. By trying to stop Mexico from joining BRICS, the U.S. hopes to keep control over these important supply lines and make sure they continue to serve American interests. This effort protects not only America's economic power, but also its status as an economic powerhouse around the world. Power is not just about having a strong army or a strong economy. Soft power, which is the ability to change how people think and act without using force, has a lot of impact on the world stage. When it comes to America's attempts to stop Mexico from joining BRICS, the use of soft power and cultural influence becomes a central pillar. Let's go on an interesting journey to find out how soft power works and how the U.S. uses its cultural influence to sway Mexico's choices. Attraction is at the heart of soft power. This means winning people's hearts and minds by having similar beliefs, ideals, and cultures. As a global cultural powerhouse, the United States has a lot of soft power, which it uses to spread its impact through its music, movies, TV shows, and other popular culture. Everything from Hollywood blockbusters to world-famous musicians has made its way into Mexican culture, providing a strong cultural link between the two countries. America uses its cultural influence to keep Mexico from joining BRICS. This is because America knows how strong this bond is. As part of its soft power plan, the United States focuses on the benefits of continued cultural cooperation and alignment with it. By talking about the economic possibilities, cultural exchange, and shared experiences that come from working together, the US and Mexico feel more like they belong together. This strategy is meant to show that joining BRICS could hurt cultural ties and make it harder to take advantage of the chances that come with strong ties to the United States. The US's soft power plan also includes using its control of global media networks to shape stories and public opinion. The United States has a lot of power over big media outlets, which lets it create stories that serve its own interests. In the context of Mexico possibly joining BRICS, American media can show it as a move that could be risky by focusing on the unknowns and possible bad outcomes. By controlling the story, the US can change how people feel about BRICS inclusion and how Mexico sees it. Also, foreign exchanges and public diplomacy programs are very important parts of the United States soft power arsenal. Through cultural exchanges, educational programs, and diplomatic meetings, the US tries to build stronger ties with Mexico and make it feel like the two countries have similar values and goals. These projects not only improve ties between the two countries, but they also show that Mexico's close relationship with the US is in its best interests. By making it easier for people to talk to each other and build relationships, the US hopes to influence Mexico's decision-making and stop it from joining BRICS. Soft power and cultural influence are powerful tools that the US can use to affect Mexico's decisions about BRICS. The United States has a lot of power because of the strength of its cultural ties and its ability to change stories and public opinion. But this is not the end of the story. Mexico's government and people also have the power to weigh the pros and cons of joining BRICS and figure out what the benefits and risks might be. As the battle for soft power continues, it remains to be seen if America's cultural influence will be the deciding factor or if Mexico's goals will take a different path. Keep watching as the chapters unfold to see how soft power, cultural influence, and pursuing national goals all work together. In the complicated world of international relations, the United States tries to stop Mexico from joining BRICS by putting diplomatic pressure on it. The United States uses its diplomatic skills to affect Mexico's decisions through a variety of strategic moves. Behind closed doors, American officials work hard to persuade Mexico to change its position by using economic ties and other incentives. The goal of these diplomatic talks is to bring up possible repercussions and build a sense of shared interests so that Mexico will change its mind about joining BRICS. Public shows of power are also very important. High-level visits, diplomatic summits, and other strategic events give the US a chance to voice its worries and stress how important it is for other countries to align with US interests. These public protests have a lot of meaning and show how important Mexico's decision to join BRICS could be. Also, the US uses its large diplomatic network and allies to put indirect pressure on Mexico by getting support from other countries in the area. By putting on a united front and pointing out the wider effects of Mexico's choice, the United States strengthens its diplomatic position and shows how serious the situation is. Stay tuned if you want to learn more mind-blowing facts in conflicts like these.